it's to be introduced into the Premier League at the start of next season, is it fit for purpose as it stands?
Okay, so far it was, I don't know exactly how many games they used it, but I think it was no game without any issues. Okay, maybe let's say it like this. I only can say that in Germany they use it now for this season first time, and in the first part of the season it was quite a lot of irritation as well. It was not perfect, how it always is with things like that. If you are involved and you are on the bad side of the decision, and you're probably very upset about it. Meanwhile, I don't know. I didn't ask, and I don't watch too many games of the Bundesliga in the moment, to be honest. But it seems to be much more settled. Meanwhile, so it for sure it will take time. If the Premier League decides to, or the FA decides to introduce it, then there will be a few more games when you think, wow, that's really what we want. And but at the end, I'm still thinking it's all what we can do to make the decisions right helps the game, even when it's in the beginning. Obviously, in our game against West Brom, maybe that's for me the best example, only because I was involved and felt it in that game. It took too long for the decisions, for sure. And so if there's any obvious decision, and the ref wherever he's sitting in London, in the office or wherever, he needs to make the decision quick. It's like, watch it, but it's still. They are for sure still a little bit afraid, or now even more a little bit afraid of being massively criticized afterwards if they are not happy. Let's take our penalty against Tottenham. Virgil on Lamela was if a ref sits in the office, then he would say yes, penalty, go for it. A former player sits and always says no, penalty. So, and we will have this discussion still afterwards. So, yeah, it's not easy. I'm happy that I don't have to decide it, but I think for sure there will be a few talking points still when it starts.
Obviously, it's cold.
Should not be cold inside, but it's as well, right?
Yeah, my boiler packed up last night as well.
Yeah. Oh, really?
Oh, yeah, not good.
Again? Maybe you can get help.
In terms of preparation, with no snow outside, have your preparations been affected at all by the weather this week? Or?
Yes, to be honest, but like for all the others, it's just you cannot do exactly what you would do. It was really too cold. It's not too cool for muscle. That's how it is. So we changed, of course, program. We could do the tactical things, but we had to do it quite lively. Tactical training is very often talking on the pitch about different situations. Wait, stop, here, this. Something that we didn't do on the pitch, to be honest. It was like we had the training and then we spoke afterwards about it inside. It was really cold. The wind cooled it massively down. The snow was not one day a problem. I don't know exactly when it was. Monday or Tuesday when we came in and it was snowing everywhere, which was, I thought it's nice. But it was nothing on the pitch, so it was never, the boys here did a fantastic job. Maybe that's the reason, because all the heating is in our pitches. That's why it's so cold inside. Yes, of course it was, but it will be it's good, because I think it will be the same circumstances on tomorrow. So it's the best preparation you can get used to it. It's not that difficult. It's different. So and you ask, so I gave an answer.
Obviously on the pitch, well, things go well. Won 9 of the last 12 games. All competitions. Financially off the pitch, things going well, strong financial results. I just wonder what kind of shape do you feel the club as a whole is in, with the squad you've created and of course the financial performance as well, to longer term get even closer to Manchester City, mount that type of challenge moving forward from here now?
I'm still in the mood to think and to feel the positivity of the situation. I'm really not. It's yes. When you say we how many games we lost in the last 12?
We won 9 of the last 12.
Okay, that obviously. Okay, that's a good number. But actually, the only game we have to win is the Newcastle one. It's the Newcastle game. So that's really the only thing I'm interested in. That's how I feel. The positive numbers, perfect. It's good. The club invested a lot in the last few years since I'm in. We built a new stand. We are planning a new training ground. We brought in fantastic players, so I'm completely fine. I'm not interested too much in it, to be honest. It's not that I ask, can you tell me how much is on the account or whatever. We brought in the players we wanted to bring in, to be honest, for the price we wanted at the end to pay. Not more, not less, and that's all. Yes, it was until today, or the club is until today in a very good moment, but we all know if we don't perform tomorrow, then it feels different immediately, and that's the only thing I'm interested. So we have to go, and when the season is over and we have a look back, then I maybe have a beer on the fantastic numbers and all the games we didn't lose or we won and all that stuff, but that's how it is. It's just a very busy, positive, yes, but busy moment, how we feel it, a lot of training, normal training, intensity, preparing the team for the next game, which is difficult. We know who is coming. It's a Liverpool legend is coming. Rafa Benitez, one of the best managers in the world. We all know how maybe you know it even better, how he works, how he can organize a team, how he can make your life really difficult. I like him as a person, and but I actually thought, I think we gave enough presents already to him since I'm in 2-0 up on the home game when we played them, I think. And yes, and at Newcastle, I think even Rafa knew it was a little bit lucky for them. So we need to be really focused, really concentrated on that game. And yeah, it will be interesting again.
We've spoken about your rotation within the team quite a few times across the season. So, given that with 10 matches to go, it looks like you've got pretty much a full squad, I think, to choose from for this one and your position in the league. Does that almost sort of vindicate why you have done that across the season?
And since we spoke about it the last 2 weeks or so, we never had a full squad, to be honest. So this week, Ben and Woodburn and Gini Wijnaldum are already ill for a week or so. So obviously it's not only a little cold. That can always happen. So I don't know exactly. What do you think about rotation? Yes, we did it in a specific part of the season when we knew from our experience in the last few years, if we have, it was always clear, if we have the opportunity, we would have done much more rotation in the first year when I was in November, December, but it was not possible. When I came in, we had injured players, and then we had to use what we had from the fit players, and then afterwards, the fit players from November were injured in January, so it was not too cool. It was not that we didn't know about it, it was clear in the moment when we have the opportunity and we'll do it, and that's what we did in that moment, with a few injuries, not too much. Thankfully, yeah, it was not too much. But now in this moment, we have no big thing, that's true. But hopefully it stays like this, because that's exactly the same. We talked today about it, and I'm not sure. I get a list after who is available today for training after this press conference, and hopefully nothing happened overnight. As I said, the weather is strange, and a cold is for us or a flu is as difficult to handle with, like it's a ligament thing. It's only longer, but for the next game, it's the same influence. So it's, I think, what everybody would have done if you have the opportunity to do it, a little bit of rotation, and now we still change the game, change the team. It says rotation is this one is sometimes. It's not always to rest players. It's actually very rare that's the reason. It's about using the competition in the team to perform again. You can always say, okay, that's the team I want to play, so let them play the next 4 or 5 weeks. But that's only possible as long as they really go. And when the other players make pressure in training from behind and say, okay, now we want to show as well, and then it's probably a good idea to give them the opportunity, because then you have again fresh legs and a 100% motivated and greedy team on the pitch, which is the most important thing.
It's the Premier League's Manager of the Month nominations have just been revealed as well. Both yourself and your good friend Herr Wagner are in that list for February. So, as far as you're concerned, a little bit of friendly rival, maybe. Who do you think has had the better month, yourself?
Only we. No.
There are 5 nominations. Would you want to?
Who are the others?
There is Mauricio Pochettino, Harry Garcia, and Chris Hughton.
Oh, cool. Yeah, yeah, then good luck.
Who do you vote for then?
Yeah, all good, all good. Yeah, no, there's no battle between us for that. I think I got it once. Didn't change my life massively, to be honest. And I think Dave got it as well. If Chris didn't have it so far, then I would go for him. What they do in the moment is really good, and yeah, I like the story they write there. So my favorite is Chris this month. I don't think I have a big influence with what I said now, but maybe.
Juliet.
I was just thinking, you talked about being a busy, positive moment right now, and it's not a question about Phil because obviously he's not here anymore. But have you the upturn in performances and the desire amongst the squad of players that we've got now? Have you noticed a difference between them? There are no distractions. There just seems to be just a real upturn in performances and obviously goals and everything else in this form that you're in.
No, we don't know. Yeah. It's clear. So Phil Coutinho was a very, very, very dominant player in our game. In a game which when we were not at our best, it was always a good idea to give him the ball. Maybe he has an idea, a little bit. Not sure if that's good or not. But the sound here. But that was always clear that if when Phil, it was always like this. When Phil didn't play, then we had to do the job differently. So to I don't know exactly how to say it in English. So to give the responsibility on different shoulders, to split it a little bit in the team, or to spread it a little bit between the players. So but we never can be sure that it will work, especially when you know that you will miss him only a day before the game or so. But now, meanwhile, we are, of course, a few weeks ago, and I'm really happy about the reaction of the boys. They stepped up. It's good. I never thought like this. It's here that everybody thinks if one player is missing, then the whole building is pretty much already halfway done. And I don't believe in things like this. But of course, we were fighting for Phil. We wanted to keep him here, so it's not a secret anymore. And at the end, he decided differently, and I'm happy that it worked so far pretty well, but to be honest, I don't think too much about it. It feels like it's already a few months ago, to be honest. It's only a few weeks ago, but it feels like a few months ago, so it happened a lot since then. And again, it's our job. I think if we sit here then every week and I have to explain and say, yeah, but Phil is not here anymore. Sorry, we kind of have no free kicks anymore. We don't have set piece anymore. We don't have dribblings in small space anymore. That would be really bad. So I'm happy that it worked quite well. But again, I'm only interested in how it will work tomorrow, to be honest, and not how it worked in the last few games.
I was just wondering, do you think it's changed the attitude of the players that are here now?
No.
That they've stepped up and to continue without him?
They are smart. No, they are smart enough to use good players in the team. If you see Barcelona playing for example, in a specific moment, they give the ball to Messi. That's a good idea, to be honest. Yeah, I would do actually pretty much the same. If I would have played with him, I would have carried him in front of the goal and do the rest, please. So if you need help, ask me. I carry you the whole game. So that's how it is. That's if you're smart enough, and that's how what we did to Phil, of course. And now we do it with other players. So it's like this. We work for each other. That's it's not. They didn't change attitude. They were smart enough to use Phil in specific moments, and now they use each other in the specific moments. But yes, it's always good. I had this one example. It was a bad game of us, and when we then gave all the responsibility to Phil, it was against Tottenham away. So Phil had the ball and lost the dribbling because we gave it in the wrong moment. It was not easy for him. And we were out of the game. So yes, that we cannot do that anymore, because now it's really. It makes us a little bit more unpredictable on a average day. On a good Phil Coutinho day, I was completely happy with giving all the balls. I have no problem with that. So that's all. It's not didn't change the attitude. It's football. So you have to adapt to the specific situations. And now we play with whoever plays. They all are really good. And and sometimes it makes sense to pass the ball from one to the other and then create a gap, run in the gap, and use the chance. That's how it is. On a good day, it makes you more unpredictable if you don't have this dominant player. But on another day, you miss a player like that. That's how it is.
Jurgen, if you can do it, what would staying unbeaten at home in the league at Anfield mean to you? Are you thinking much about that?
No. Are we unbeaten?
in the league?
Yeah. Ah, good. So we don't count West Brom. I love that. Not as a record, actually nothing. But it's actually you want to be unbeaten the whole season. That's how it is, and it's an important thing. But again, really, I like the positive mood even here. Obviously, we don't have a lot of problems at the moment. Even I realize it in your questions. So it's much easier for you to do the job. If you have problems like hell, then you can shoot questions from left and right and try and ask me to explain it, why it will work in the next game again. So that's good. But if we draw from now on all the home games at Anfield, then we are unbeaten at the end of the season. I don't think that anybody would really be happy with this record. So we should not be unbeaten. We should win football games, and we should not care too much where it is. And it's always difficult, and especially against a team who's fighting for the league with really good development in the season. Meanwhile, Newcastle has I'm not sure, last 10, 12 games there, and really good run, didn't lose a lot. If they lost last game, they should have won probably, and then Bournemouth had a comeback in the game. So they fight for the league. They are really good organized, and they have a specific way to play, which and one part of this way is to make it as difficult as possible for the other team to create. And so that's what we have to make sure, that we can defend them and then cause them problems when we have the ball. And that's unfortunately not true in the moment that we can do that, because it's football. I love it, but it's still always a little bit unsure if you are really ready to do that. So that's the thing. And not, if we win the game, then we continue, obviously, the record. That would be then I'm interested. After the game, I think, okay, we extended it a little bit. That would be nice. But again, not too interested in records. In general.
And just on Andrew Roberts, the performances he's put in the last few months, really, has he made the left back position his position now? Is that his to lose?
He stepped up, he improved a lot, he developed in a fantastic way. A few weeks ago, when he first came in, it was not, after Alberto's injury, it was not exactly the same what it is now. Everybody needs time, that's no problem. He needed to adapt, he adapted, was really, and now the last two games especially were really, really, really good. But I said it already, Alberto Moreno is in a really good moment. And it's not, only think about yourself, you do your job and your boss is really happy, and then you have a little injury or whatever, and then when you come back, the boss says to you, yeah, sorry, but there's now another one. That would not be fair, and I'm not like this. Yes, Robbo is in a really good moment, but Alberto makes pressure on him. That's good for us, and we need that. And so I'm happy with the development. I don't think that Robbo is young enough to improve still, to develop still, and that's good. But he's on a really good way, right?
Christian, Jurgen, do you have any other injury concerns? And just wondering how close Tom Barnes to come back and play last weekend?
No. Kleine is in a very serious situation with no other bright fullbacks than maybe Klein. We could bring Kleine because he's a natural fit boy, but he has absolutely no rhythm, and you will need a few more games to be then at its best. I have a little, probably everybody saw it, Millie got a real knock in the last game, and that still hurts a little bit. We will see how that improves. It's not an injury, but it's a little issue. And it was fine. Trained completely normal, all good. It was a really good week for him so far. That's best week for 3-4 weeks now. It's good. Then I was ill, right? Yeah, that's already. He came back quite. He had not the same than the other two boys. He had kind of a cold. The other two boys have It's not allowed that to say in public. What's it? How? Come on, say that. I know how you spell it. No. Really, you don't say it because you then all imagine. Wow. Diarrhea. How can I learn the language when you cannot say?
No, it's not an English thing to say.
Really not? How? If you have it, what do you say to people then?
Please don't.
Sorry? What? What do you say then? They have the runs. Hey, good teachers here, really good teachers here. Thank you very much.
Moving it back to football, maybe.
That would be really nice.
On the bit about the players taking great responsibility now, do you think the team and the squad has evolved since January, or are we just maybe thinking we see it differently because it isn't them?
Okay, could you start again? Sorry, but now, really, the players did what? Is it?
Do you think that the team has evolved and developed since January, or do you think?
Yeah, but that should be normal. We said it last week. I think if this would be the first game of the season, for example, it must be different to a game in the beginning of March. So we know each other for 9 months, roundabout. We most of the team have worked together now 2.5 years, so stuff like that. So it's important that people can see that. And of course we developed, and we developed again since January. But we have no other chance, and we have to develop again and again and again, and to improve. That's how it is. Yes, we the boys. You cannot have 57 points, I think, what we have in the moment, if everything is wrong. That's not possible. And we cannot play the football we played in a few games if everything is wrong. So a lot of things are really positive, and it's good that you realize that. But again, maybe it's a misunderstanding. I'm a very positive person, really, but I'm not positive always and before it happens. So it's not that I'm constantly smiling like I don't know what. So it's just we have to. The main thing is to do the work, and I appreciate the work. But to be honest, I think it should be like that. That's how it is. It should be granted that they work like they work. That's how it is, and I don't criticize them massively if we lose a game, because it's part of the game, but I don't celebrate a victory for 4 days. It's just to do the job, and we were sure, we thought that we can deal with the situation when we sold Phil. Otherwise we couldn't have done it. Whatever Barcelona would have said, whatever Phil would have said, first of all, I always said the team, the club is the most important thing. And if we would have thought there's no chance for us, when we cannot play football anymore, it would not have been happening. If we could have used Phil then, I don't know. Nobody knows that. But now he's there, obviously enjoying life there and football there. That's good. And we are here and we enjoy what we are doing. So that's all I can say about that.
Following up from that, using the positivities around the tournament, is there any inclination at this time to look at extending contracts of some of those players we're doing really well, like Roberto, like Sadio?
There's not much to say about it, but I said last week, I think, that we try to keep this team together and strengthen it. It's not that we want to bring out now, obviously, key players and say, come on, there's the door. Try to find your luck somewhere else. So it's of course we want to keep them. That's clear. But they all have still contracts. So it's not that we have a big rush and have to do it tomorrow or whatever. But we are in constant talks, and I said it a few months ago. Our job, of all of us, of the people, our fans, the crowd in the stadium, is to create something where everybody wants to be part of. That's how it is, because there are a lot of good football clubs around. There are not 20 better football clubs than Liverpool FC, but a few not the bad ones. And if they ask and if they pay and whatever, then it's normal if the player maybe thinks about it. That can happen, but it's our job. We cannot convince them with money. We have to convince them with a lot of things. The football we play, the kind we treat them, we handle problems together, stuff like that. So if you want to be, I think it's a really important, a really interesting football project in the moment, to be honest. This here, still, I feel like this since I'm in, so it's quite difficult, because when you saw Man City playing yesterday, I think they deserve to be first, to be honest. So it's not too bad what they're doing in the moment. And that means if you only can be really happy about it, if you have 1 point more than Man City in this moment. That would be difficult for all other teams in the world in this moment. So why should we be bothered because of that? So we have to use our situation. We have to improve our situation, and then we can come closer. And when you can come closer, you can overtake not only a car, as well a football club. That's how it is. And yeah, that's all.